Hey guys, it's Dad with Dad's Guide to Adulting. I hope you're doing well and you're having a great day. In this video, we're going to talk a little bit about saving and investing and building wealth. And if you're a young person who's watching this video, you are already a step ahead because frankly, most young people don't think about these things until it's too late to do it effectively. I frankly wish I had known some of these lessons in my 20s. If I had, I could probably retire 5 years sooner than I will otherwise. These are some very important basic lessons. Now, I want to make sure everybody understands, I am not a financial advisor. I am not an investment expert. This is the advice that I give as a father to my own 3 young adult children to help them get on their way in building wealth, and I hope you'll view it with that context in mind. So one of the things that's important to understand when you're a young adult is you have the single most important thing available to you in building wealth, and that is time. And by time, I don't mean the time you have in your day-to-day life, which may be very busy. What I mean is years. You have the years in order to take advantage of compound growth and watching your investments grow over time. One of our upcoming videos, we talk about the magic of compound growth, and I really encourage you to watch that so you understand how it works. But the basic lesson that you can learn early on is that you can build wealth by regularly saving small amounts of money. In talking about money with my own children, I've tried to convey 3 basic lessons. First, you want to start early because, like I said, you have the advantage of time. Take full advantage of compound growth. Save even small amounts if you can. Number 2, take full advantage of tax-advantaged retirement accounts like a traditional IRA, a Roth IRA, a 401k or 403b plan offered by your employer. We talk about all of those accounts in some detail in our other videos, but take advantage of them to the best extent that you can. Number 3, don't be intimidated because you don't know everything about money or investing. That you don't know what a stock is or a bond is not going to mean that you can't still invest well when you're young. There are some excellent investing tools for young people, in particular stock index funds, which basically match the growth of the entire economy or a sector of the economy, which don't require you to learn a lot about how to invest, which will let your money grow over time. So don't be intimidated by it. In the videos that follow this one, we'll talk in more detail about particular subjects, like the types of accounts that you can open and where and how you can open them. In this video, I sort of want to talk about a philosophy of money, and let's talk about why you're doing it and why you're building wealth. In order to understand why wealth growth is important, you sort of have to understand why you're doing it. Having the right motivation in mind can have a huge impact on the success or failure of your efforts. In this case, there's a really good reason to build wealth, and it's not simply to build up your balance sheet so your net worth looks better over time. The reason to build wealth is this: to get to a point where you have financial freedom, which means you have enough money available to you so you can spend your time as you want to spend it, rather than having to go to work to make money working for somebody else. It's really important. I'm going to repeat it. The principal goal of building wealth is to give yourself freedom. Get yourself to the point where you live your life and you spend your hours the way you want to, rather than having to go to work to pay your bills. The sooner you can get to that point, the better off you are. And if you start saving and investing early, that will help. What basically ends up happening is that as your wealth grows over time, the money that you have saved ends up throwing off other money in terms of dividends or interest or stocks that have grown, where you can live off of that growth and use that to replace the income from your job. Essentially, you want to get to a point where your money is working for you rather than you having to work for yourself. This is huge. It basically means that you will have income without having to work. Not having to work basically means you have time to take those vacations, to cross off things on your bucket list, to spend time with your friends and your family. It also greatly reduces your stress level as you get older and improves your health. So if you can build wealth to get to that point sooner, that's clearly what you want to do, and it's important to start in your 20s. I understand that it can be difficult when you're young to look far enough ahead and think, why do I care about what my finances look like 30 or 40 years down the future? And I'll tell you this, it's going to get here a lot quicker than you think. I still vividly remember meeting my wife like it was yesterday, and that was in fact 35 years ago. We now have 3 young adult children, and it goes by fast. The same thing will happen to you. And the decisions you make in your 20s about money can have a great impact on how you spend your life in your 50s and 60s. Finally, I'll just give you one example of why it's important to start saving early rather than later. According to a New York Times article back in 2018, Fidelity Investments calculated that someone who was contributing the maximum amount annually into their IRA account that started at age 15 would have saved more than $2.4 million by age 65. But if that same person waited until they were 25 to start, they would only have $1.2 million. Basically half the amount of money for waiting 10 years to start investing. It's a really important lesson to learn early. All right, so let's move on and talk about the magic of compound growth. That's our next video. I'll see you then. Until next time, remember, you got this.